best thing to do is power it down and then bring it back up that with the fish.
Okay.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. It's the Commissioners' meeting for September 12th, 2024 on Thursday evening at 7:03 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and we'll all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tonight, I'd just like to take a special minute. We're a day after 9/11 to think about all the people that tragically passed on that day, and also think of all the people that still deal with this and their illnesses, and we still have first responders passing every day. Thank you.
Amen.
All right. Attendance, all set. Approval of prior meeting minutes for August 8th, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second in
Okay,
motion.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Communications.
Excuse me. Communications to the Board of Fire Commissioners.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed public participation. My apologies.
Whoops.
Public participation first before, communications. My apologies. Anybody like to speak? All set? Okay, and nobody online? Okay, moving right along. Communications.
Communications, Board of Fire Commissioners / Town Manager from Chief Jeff Trommer. Look through all of your notes, Chief. And as always, you are one busy command officer, along with the rest of the command staff. So we're good to go with your report.
Anything
I
significant?
have a question about your report. What's the BESS proposal?
So it's the battery electric storage system. So it's gonna be a new battery system that a lot of companies are starting to try to draw for electric power.
Oh, that's what I was telling you.
What they're doing is they're actually putting them up. There's one that's actually being proposed right now up by Health Tracks.
I just didn't know what the term was. But
Yeah, so what it does is it basically backfeeds into the electrical grid to help out with electricity. It's kind of sell the electricity back. So a lot of new stuff possibly coming into town with that.
Yeah.
That and fuel cells. So those are the two big ones that are coming in now.
Okay, thank you.
We're good?
Yeah.
I have a monthly report from Carrefour Deputy Chief Stegmeyer, giving us a rundown. And I have 2 promotions listed from Chief Stegmeyer. Nathan Merchado, 2nd Lieutenant, company number 3. And I'm trying to remember, because that's the only one listed.
No, Joe.
Joe Fortuna.
Joe Fortuna,
Joe Fortuna, as well at company number 2,
Lieutenant.
2nd Lieutenant. And other than that, that's good. Chief Regina, as always, your training report is outstanding, although this month I didn't see a listing of your hours. And I know that if you would like to speak on that, or because I know that there's some tweaking you're doing with the new system.
Well, yeah, so I'm gonna give you, I didn't get a chance to try to see this. little late getting this together, but
Thank you.
this is a report that
Thank you.
Sherry helped me immensely on, showing just one portion of what we're doing. I should show you spirit. That is just outside, what we're starting to do is, and I talked to Chief Farmer about this before we did this, part of the ISO chain information that we're putting in is not just what we do in training, because that's a big number, but like anything else, we don't track it, which we've never done. We never tracked any of the fire commission, Connecticut Fire Academy
Academy.
training. So now ISO has asked us to list that as outside training. And if you look at the time frame on that, about 3 years worth, look at the total hours.
This is just outside training?
Yeah.
Just
This is
outside
not
training.
in-house
Right.
training?
Through Connecticut Fire Academy, I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
So we've already submitted all the rest of them to ISO, but I had to explain to her before I sent it, why we just jumped thousands of hours.
Almost 8,000 man hours in outside training?
Yeah, that our department's done.
So if you think about it, firefighter one class alone is 180 hours
Right.
per person.
Yeah.
So if you send 5, 6 people there.
It's 1,000
it
hours.
Adds up quick.
Sure.
You know, the instructor and so forth, many hours.
That's unbelievable.
Huge.
So that's in a 3-year period.
This is a 3-year period.
And again, I just wanted to highlight that it's just outside training. We just did the CPR classes to see how many people took classes.
But the thing of it is, this is just outside training, but how accurate is it? Was everything put in for this?
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She did, oh yeah, it was
Wow.
100%. We didn't miss a time.
Didn't miss
Sherry
a
did
thing.
all that. I had one
Unbelievable.
typo or she fixed, and that was about it. So.
One typo?
That's all. That's what was easy. She knew what it was as soon as I told her. But I want to thank her for all the hard work.
Incredible.
Getting this done.
This is just- Yeah, this is
Excellent, thank you.
outstanding.
This
So
computer
we'll put
system
together
has been
the other
invaluable.
reports, but my focus has been for the past 3-4 weeks, ISO, so. Bear with me.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you very much. Fire marshal's report for August. Any, I don't really see anything that's overly glaring, although, one thing that I picked up on, obviously, is no significant budgetary purchases were made in the month of August. No major events to report. And I think we're good with this, other than I wish that DJ was here. Because I know that we're gonna, in the agenda, we're looking at the fire marshal per diem hiring update. So I don't know where that's gonna sit, but I'm through with my reports.
Motion to approve the communications as presented.
Commissioner, just one thing under communication.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
So going forward next month, I requested that now, instead of just myself, as Chief Regina and Chief Stegmeyer giving you monthly reports, you will have a monthly report from every chief. That
Thank
will be from Chief Floppier, also Chief Jansani, just to give you an update of what they're doing on a
Thank
monthly
you.
basis. This
excellent,
way you actually have a record of everything.
Everything that's going on. Perfect. Thank you, chief.
excellent, thank you. And we covered promotions under that also. There was no others but those two.
Other than the two notices from
Machado
Deputy
and
Chief
Chief
Stegmeyer,
Okay,
that's
Thank
it.
all in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
right, thank you, unanimous. Ledger status?
I'm looking over ledger status. The first question I have is, I see that we haven't done anything on fringe benefits. Is that because stipend and paper call is going out shortly?
It'll be going out in November.
Okay,
Yeah, so around, actually, right around Thanksgiving. So all the paperwork and everything's, the spreadsheet all been submitted. It's still taking a while to get some information back to me.
okay.
Janet's aware, so. But everything's been submitted on my part.
Are they still taking out monthly, chief, like they were? Were they still taking out of the fringe benefits monthly like they did last year? Remember?
No,
I
You
didn't,
mean the paper call?
for paper call, yeah.
Yeah.
Out of the fringe.
On a monthly basis, I am 2 months behind because our reporting just got rolled out, I think, actually it was yesterday. So, we're gonna verify that tonight. Marty and I are working on the numbers because we're gonna run it manually. And we're gonna compare it to what the report says to make sure that it's 100% accurate before I submit it to finance.
Okay, thank you.
We should have it before the end of the week.
Yeah, because that would come out of the 8110, the fringe benefit.
So just to let you know what Chief Stegmeyer is talking about, so there's no confusion. Chief Stegmeyer and Marty Ball used to manually go in there and physically count every call, everything that needed to be done per member, and then input it into a spreadsheet. We worked with Red MMX to come up with actually now a program with inside of our, our Red MMX that will automatically do that for them, which takes a lot of the headaches and a lot of
Oh, sure.
time away from that.
Excellent.
That's why it's taken a little bit, because they've tried to develop something to make it work
That's
better.
great.
So that's sort of why we're a little behind.
No problem.
But once that program gets set and in stone, which they're gonna test, everything will come out and be able to spit out.
I hope by tomorrow, everything.
Excellent.
But that's what he's talking about with that report.
Good. Great.
And the other accounts all look like they're on track, so I'll make a motion, we approve the ledger status as presented.
All in favor?
I'll second.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Just one thing on the ledger status, if you look at the part-time salaries, you'll see a little bit dip there. We're still waiting on funding from the fire watch.
From
the
DOT.
state. We've contacted the vendor that actually is supposed to be paying us back. They're about a month behind, because they have to submit it to the state to get
Right.
paid, and then they have to pay us out. So Sherry just reached out to them. I believe they're this month or next month they're gonna be
We got
paying.
one payment,
Yeah,
we still have 3
so we're
more.
still waiting for 3 or 4 more invoices to be paid, so that's.
Good.
why
Now
you might
bring
see-
that back up.
So that's why that's at 79%.
Right.
That's correct, so once you see that, that number should jump over the next month or so,
They'll go
Right.
back up.
once we get that funding back,
Excellent.
because we had to pay it out first.
Right. And we did that with last year's budget too, where it went almost
That's
down to,
correct. Correct.
because it started in May? Yeah, May,
Well,
June.
no, that was all of this year's budget, but last year was, the 333.
333, and it was reimbursed, right?
Correct.
Excellent. Okay. Old business, radio system update.
We actually have some really good news going forward today, which I'm very happy with. All the new equipment was installed up at Callahan's site today. It was tested. There's some slight things that still need to be done, but most of the equipment for the fire department is installed up there. Our template has been approved. The final template that we need to verify was pushed out yesterday. We have some testing to do on it. We don't see many issues as of right now. So once that gets approved, we'll be able to move into what they call the, basically the production phase, which means that now they can program the radios and now we can start installing radios. The town's a little behind because they're still working on their templates, but for once, it's actually positive that it's moving
Excellent.
in a good way. So
No, last month we weren't too excited about it.
Yeah,
it
no.
seems very good. We're excited about
Excellent.
it. And we've been working with the accountability. We have meetings bi-weekly on the accountability for it, which is the Motorola accountability. We just had to discuss it today, and training will start in October on that. So slowly but surely it's coming along.
January 1st-ish for,
I would say, yeah, January, February, probably fully operational.
excellent.
Cross our fingers.
Let's hope. Great. Grant update, Chief LaPierre is unable to make it tonight. He had some task force obligations, I believe. Was it task force?
Actually, statewide.
Statewide.
Regional.
And he told me that there was no, grant updates. They have started to award the grants, but, nothing for us yet. Billing per call update.
All that paperwork was submitted by Marty Ball. I believe there was 6 or 7 that he submitted for payment. And now we're just waiting for the what comes back from the building company.
Okay, that'll be interesting to see the first one come in. Space needs for company 3 and 4.
We have talked about this, numerous times. Again, we've presented stuff to the town manager and so forth. We just gotta wait on where the town council is and the town manager is moving forward for funding, or what the options are going forward, so.
Okay.
That almost, you can leave it there, but.
Yeah.
It's
I think we'll leave it on and keep it on the front
Yeah.
burner. So it's fresh.
But they're aware of it.
Okay, thank you. Fire department pension review update. I've done some legwork to try, because I am not a pension person. So I'm trying to see if somebody could come in here and talk to us about it and, hopefully get something better than what we have with not costing us a lot of money. But it's definitely on my radar, and I am working diligently on trying to get someone in here to talk to us and see what we can do.
I've made some inquiries also, and I'll follow up on it.
I can tell you right now, what's very hard about this is everybody wants a lot of money with the consultants, and then with the pension itself, to have access to your pension, there's fees involved, and, we don't want to put the burden on our individual firefighters to pay, out-of-pocket expenses to have, online access. So it's a difficult situation, and, but we're working on it. Fire marshal, DM hiring update. A little bit of a wrench got thrown into it. Two of the four fire marshals were offered different jobs, but we did hire them. They're going to give what they can, and it is on a per diem basis, so they only get paid when they work. So we had 3. We had Austin Muir, Anthony Carlson, and Tim Sullivan were hired as per diem firefighters, per diem fire marshals. So that will definitely help DJ in his office.
They got hired as inspectors.
Inspectors, correct, inspectors, because they do not have their investigation mode yet, correct? Right? Tim did, but the other one didn't. Okay, and here's our big one, Chief Trommer, ISO update.
You know what, I'm gonna pass this to Bobby, because Bobby's been working on this diligently, and we worked very.
I do want to say that all the chiefs have been working extremely hard on this.
So he's been in contact with Sarah, our ISO rep, on a continuous basis, so I'll pass it to him.
Okay,
Okay, so, we, over the past month and a half, 2 months, maybe longer, we started getting intense into this. The biggest thing that happened, that we had a meeting with Verisk, which is the ISO company that we deal with. And we were able to convince ISO to come back in and reopen the books, which is unusual because there's only been 2 years since we originally did it. Normally you have to wait 5 years or 5 years. So we brought enough to the table in that first initial meeting. Chief Stegmeyer's hard work on getting the MDC reports that we requested, and some other things that we started to do right up front, convinced them that it was worth looking at. So that's where we started. So as part of this process, Martin Wall, take care of the NFIRS side of things. Talked to Marty tonight, and where we were that you saw in the report, on the fire marshal's report, We are now on 2023 is up to 72% of reports filed. On 2024 is 97%. They'll be at 95% by the end of this week.
Excellent.
A lot of work to go through all those Enford reports. He also had to produce approximately 20 or 30, he ended up doing 40 Enford reports for fire calls that we've had in the past. And so we had a time frame what she needed, and we submitted those. He worked with Sarah directly. We created, I helped him, he created a spreadsheet. We put together the information, we talked it out, what we needed to do, sent it in, and her response back was perfect.
Excellent.
So, you know, when you get that type of response, you know, can't ask for anything more. As you know, Sherry helped me on the CFA accreditation that was added into our documentation for training, because we had to do training reports. My training division worked hard to get some information into the system. Emma worked on it, Pedro worked on it, Cassidy worked on it, and we've been doing a lot of things different over the, this is not, you have to remember, this is not just now. This is what we've done under Chief Trommer for the past few years to get this to where we are now.
Right.
So training, we've made so many changes in regards to how we train, what we train on, specifically targeting what ISO calls for categories. All that has changed, was submitted, all the training reports we put in. We needed to do something about our fire prevention and our engagement activities. I don't have the hours in front of me.
Oh, yeah, it was up there, and the amount of people that we touched, thousands. I think it was almost 14.
And how many people we
17,000 people that we came in contact with on,
between the events. We didn't track that stuff before. So again, now that we've got this Red MMX, all this information is now in place that we can generate this type of thing. We went through Chief Trommer, worked with our apparatus guys. We got hose test, pump test, aerial tests, the whole apparatus setups. Chief Trommer spent hours putting that together to make it happen. We got excellent responses back from the fire marshal's office on what they need to give us. Public safety dispatch, Chief Perry gave us information right after Chief Trommer requested it. A day later, we had it. The fire prevention information I mentioned, community risk reduction information, all that information was put together. It's now on our S drive, so we have copies of all that. We know what we sent, we know what Sarah was given, so that's all stored up there. Now we have readily access to it. And whatever we got into Red and Next, we still have some things that we not for ISO. So as of Sunday evening late, we submitted the rest of the information, and now it's in their hands, and now it's wait, keep our fingers crossed that we get it.
We have contacted the ISO rep, Chief Virginia reached out to the ISO rep, to make sure she had all the paperwork that she needed. She said she has everything, now it's just sitting waiting. Is that correct? I mean, it could take a couple of weeks, could take a month, could take 2 months. It all depends on how busy she is and so forth. Cross our fingers. I'm pretty confident that we're gonna go to class 2, but I can't guarantee that. But with what this department and the staff has done over the last year or two is just tremendous. And it's a lot of it is how we record keep is really what it comes down to. The one big one that is huge for us is the MDC flow testing of the hydrants. Chief Stegmeyer got a contact at the MDC. Worked diligently to get those taken care of. MDC was very, very receptive to going out and doing the work. And they actually even provided a second piece of paper that Sarah had requested.
She asked for a 5-year, will they follow up in 5 years? Chief Stegmeyer reached back out to them, and the PE engineer signed off and said they come back in 5 years.
So all I can say is like over the last, and this goes over the last year, a ton of work has went in. How we record keep for everything. We've basically changed everything to make it so it's a lot more streamlined.
So we wouldn't have been able to do this if we had another system, right? And we have the capability to that. So there's no doubt making that choice and buying that software we did was the right.
So in other words, once we get to 2, you guys aren't gonna have anything to do?
Oh, no. So we get the bragging rights, which we all agreed on, but what what you need to sell in all this, and I said this to the chiefs the other night in our meeting, is that this is an indication of all the hard work to get this department to be at the level that we are at. And that.
And we gotta
now we're gonna
maintain it.
continue this.
Yeah.
So when we started, Commissioner, many moons ago, I can remember when we were a 4, and when we went to a 3, it was huge.
So I told
And now
Bobby,
we're at it
depending on- I told Bobby, depending on the numbers, we have to go to the next one, which is class 1. So
Well, there's only what, I think there's only 178 in the country,
I
right?
think I see a cloud with a
Yeah,
dream
I
in
think
it over here.
Connecticut only has 2 or 3.
So
Bridgeport?
we were looking at the
Haven.
graphs the other night about
Hartford.
all the levels of 1, 2, 3, and it goes all the way up to a class, I think 9 or 10. So even at a class 3 that we're at now, there's only 3,700 departments countrywide that actually have a class 3. If we go down to a class 2, there's only 1,700 in the country that has a class 2 rating.
How many in Connecticut?
In Connecticut,
Volunteer career, that's not.
in Connecticut, we would be the only volunteer department. So again, those are things that we look at, just that has bragging rights if you want to.
Oh, absolutely.
To show up there.
It will be time for a big celebration.
Absolutely.
Not only that, we've got to publicize this.
Publicize it,
We've got to,
yeah.
Oh, we will. I mean, like I said, we're putting, what is it, the cart before the horse?
Right, right.
We just have to wait until this gets done and then we'll.
Well, let's hope for our October meeting, it'll be great news.
Yes, yeah.
It's gonna be tattoos, too.
Class 2 department?
But it's something for every one of our members, every one of our officers, the commission, even the town council would be something to be proud of. for the
Absolutely.
department.
Yep.
You know, it's a huge benefit.
It is huge.
Every business and residential person. out there.
Without the town support, we would have never been there.
Absolutely.
One thing to think about too that got mentioned is that it not only affects all the commercial and residential insurance, some it doesn't, some don't, insurance companies care less about it, they don't, it doesn't help. But what you have to remember, it also gives the town, one of the town managers said this to us when we were talking to them about it originally. It gives them something to say, here's why you come to Newington.
Come to Newington.
Because of this.
Right.
And it gives them something to break businesses.
is there any way to quantify?
We tried, I even reached out to Kathy Hall years ago when we were doing the 3. It just doesn't seem like there's somebody that's got that immediate
Yeah.
answer that we can go to. I've talked to Veris, I have full access to their system now. I can download data and such, but, somebody to say, here's the number, quantify the numbers.
Yeah.
Somebody who's got an actuarial background, insurance. It's not the insurance company, it's the company, not the, I sell insurance.
Right,
I don't know what it does.
Okay,
Awesome.
awesome.
Okay, that's it for old business. New business, there's none. Moving on to public participation for a second time.
So just, I want to mention this, it's going to be in my October report for September, but we have new officers for the cadet division.
Oh, great.
So we have Captain Ebony Benoit, First Lieutenant Elliot Luna, Second Lieutenant Ava Trommer, and Secretary Averly Lowe. They were
Wow,
all the.
that's excellent. Great. Another trauma as an officer. Wow.
Another,
Ah.
another generation.
Well, you never know. Henry, do you want to come up and adjourn the meeting
Well,
Hold
just a
on.
couple-
in a minute?
Hang on.
No, I'm not going to adjourn. I just want him to come up. Come on up, Henry.
So just want to let everybody know
Come
that
on in.
we have a lot of community events that are going to be coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Over the next month. This weekend, we actually have a Hindu celebration down over at the Newington Police Department at noontime on Saturday. Actually, I should start, we're gonna be doing First Responders Night at the Newington High School
Tomorrow night.
football team, which is tomorrow night. The 14th, we will actually be at the Newington Police Department for the Hindu celebration. On the 15th, we actually have the Labor Ride. This year, we're gonna be setting up 2 flags. This is the final ride for the Labor. It's been 20 years. I can't believe it was like yesterday. But, the perfect send off for, a hero in this town.
Sure is.
That was my last day working for the town.
So was it?
Yeah.
So, We want to give them a true send off. We're gonna line our apparatus up and so forth to get that, done. It's, 17th is our, PD fire department golf tournament. Looking forward to that. On the 21st, we actually have the PD fire department picnic / softball game. They want to come back and try to beat us. We'll see how well that goes.
See how that goes.
Um,
We'll ask Henry, do you think the police department's gonna beat the fire department in the baseball game? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? You think the firemen will win? Yeah, okay. Henry says the fire department's gonna win.
So there's a lot of stuff coming up. We also have the Waterfall Festival and some other stuff coming up at the end of the month. So a lot of stuff going on this month. So, as part of the ISO, a lot of it's community engagement and that type of stuff. So we're involved with everything we can into the community. So hats off to every member that helps out with that. The autism truck obviously has been all year long, and actually because of how well it was perceived, we've actually extended it because more groups are asking for it. The firehouse over the month of September, Sherry can attest to this, car washes every weekend for all the high school teams. We offer it to them so that they can come in here and make some money for each one of their teams. So again, hats off to everybody.
Awesome. Awesome.
And
Counselor-
remind me that there are still like flowers still, right? Mums?
No,
No,
No, they're not.
Threes is not.
You said, where are the flowers? You want to know where the flowers?
That's
are?
during Easter.
well,
And
no,
Threes
no,
does it
no.
during
No,
the
you
fall.
saw, you saw.
No, threes, we discussed this back in August and there's just so much going on. Usually it's the weekend after Labor Day that we do the mums and
Right, but you remember the mums, so.
We're-
disappointed. Sorry.
You got a good memory, Henry.
Yes, he does.
Why is the flowers not coming here?
Because I think they're taking a break this year. So next year we'll have them back. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
okay.
Any other public participation? Would you like to say anything in public participation about maybe being a firefighter someday?
No.
No? Would you like to be a fireman in Newington someday?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna hold you to it, all right?
Couple of years.
Any other public participation? Commissioners' remarks.
Kent, you want me to?
Go ahead, Frank.
I always mention all of the hard work that this command staff does, but the department as a whole totally has gone above and beyond, especially over this last year's time period with all the work that I know that has been directed by Chief Stegmeyer and Chief Regina. And listening to what you talk about with Red MX, it's amazing everything that has been able to been put together in such a short period of time. And where we were a little bit more than a year ago as to where we are today. So I'm just totally blown away. I want to mention the fire marshal's report. I want to make sure that DJ gets recognized because he made a comment a couple of months ago, and I want to make sure that it's on the record that I know that the fire marshal's office is extremely busy because of all the work that's going on. So my hat's off to him and his crew. So thank you, DJ, and I'm good.
Thank you. Commissioner Steiner.
I want to echo that all of the fire department prevention and protection are doing a very good job, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm just gonna say that we have a busy month coming up in October because we'll have our fire prevention
Never
month.
mind October, September is going to be busy too.
September's gonna be busy, and then in October, we invite all the young ones over to the firehouse and we learn something about fire safety. So I hope everybody puts that on their calendar for October.
Yeah.
I do also like to thank DJ for all of his hard work and his staff. With all the new buildings and construction that's going in town, I know they're flat out and it's pretty interesting how things evolve because with the town planning and zoning commission asking our fire marshals and now the chief for their input on different things just because of public safety. It's a lot to be said about this department and we have gone leaps and bounds over the last 3 years under the direction of Chief Trommer. So keep up the great work. I hope everyone has a happy and safe fall. And could you do me a favor and go like this and so everybody can hear you say that this meeting is adjourned?
This meeting is adjourned.
All right, thank you very much.
Good job.
Good job, buddy.
You're hired.
I like the job.
Just to let you know. Okay, you can't